Say hello. Ruby, sweetheart, say hello to the YouTube and the people. Well, hello there, my beautiful friends. Today, we are going to be doing our weekly dose of window shopping here in Pay or Stay Away, where we take a look at things that have been announced in the makeup world and decide whether or not we want to spend our hard-earned coin on them. So if you want to see what has been announced for this week, then go ahead and keep on watching, and let's jump right on in. So clearly we have something that's a little bit different here today. I have basically decided to move Pay or Stay Away from being every single Monday to being every single Friday. And why are we doing that, might you ask? Well, personally, it's just a little bit easier for me to film on a Thursday than to film on a Sunday. So this way I can be more consistent with my upload schedule, because the last 6 months I have been very, very inconsistent and flaky with my upload schedule, so I personally apologize for that. But I am doing my absolute best to fix it and work on it and get back to my at least 2 videos a week schedule that we had going on. But I know you guys are here for the new makeup releases. I know you're probably thinking, yeah, get on with it, bitch. So let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So last week in Pay or Stay Away, you may remember me talking about Pat Mcgrath coming out with $65 quads that basically contain her beautiful baked super shimmery eyeshadow formula, and I was very, very, very excited, to say the least, about being able to purchase Pat Mcgrath and purchase those beautiful shadows without having to go spend an arm and a leg and give my kidney away for these eyeshadows. I was very happy about it, and I went ahead and purchased one of them. But I was a little bit nitpicky with the color selection of quads she came out with. At the time, she had came out with 2 quads, one that had blue tones and one that had more neutrally kind of brown, bronzy tones. But I had a little bit of a bone to pick with Pat Mcgrath. I wanted a pink quad so freaking bad. I was begging her for a pink quad here on camera. And she has answered my prayers yet again. Auntie Pat has descended down from the heavens and answered my prayers. She's given me exactly what I freaking wanted with the Ritualistic Rose quad, which retails for $65. You can purchase it, I believe, only on Selfridge's website and Pat Mcgrath's website, which is where I personally purchased it. And oh my god, is it absolutely beautiful. It is dreamy. Astral Rose Orchid, which honestly might be one of the prettiest, if not the prettiest eyeshadow that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. It is so freaking beautiful. It's this gorgeous kind of bubblegummy warm pink based shadow that has all these beautiful different micro shimmers of gold running throughout it. It is so incredibly shimmery and just absolutely gorgeous. It is what my makeup dreams are made of, and I'm so happy that she came out with a quad that is rose tones and just so incredibly beautiful. And I hope she really expands on these quads, because right now she has 3, and I would say honestly all 3 of them are pretty, and I'm gonna be owning 2 out of the 3, so I'm excited to see which other ones she comes out with. I'd like to see her come out with some really interesting color combos that maybe we don't see very often, and if anyone's gonna do that, Pat Mcgrath is our gal. So obviously I am extremely happy and excited about this, and I'm very, very impatient with waiting for it to actually arrive in the mail. I'm so used to Sephora time where it's just like a day or 2 of waiting and then I get my product. I know I've conditioned myself to be very, very spoiled and bratty like that. I cannot wait another day until I get this, and then I'm gonna try it right here on camera with you guys and show you how absolutely beautiful it is. Even though I don't own it yet, I know it's gonna be beautiful. It's one of those products. So let's all just take a moment of silence here to thank Auntie Pat for coming down and blessing us yet again with absolutely beautiful makeup and answering my personal prayers for a rose or pink toned quad. Thank you, Auntie Pat, you have killed it yet again. So now that I've had my little moment here of swooning over Pat Mcgrath, let's go ahead and talk about another release that has left me very, very confused, to say the least. And this is the Kylie Cosmetics Holiday 2019 palette. Now, I've been saying for quite some time here that I think that Kylie has really been coming out with hit after hit as far as her actual collections go. I think that they've been very inspired and they've been pretty interesting. Now, it hasn't always been like that as far as my opinion on Kylie Cosmetics, but I think that within the last year or so, she's been actually doing a very, very good job with her color selections and just with the overall theme and feel of the collections, if you will. But I have to say that I think my little streak of being really impressed and excited about Kylie's launches has come to a bit of an end here, and it's not because I don't like this holiday palette that she's come out with, it's just that I'm extremely confused by this holiday palette that she's come out with. Now, you guys know I love me a good conspiracy, but is it just me, or is this palette the exact same palette, if not almost the exact same palette as her Valentine's Day 2019 palette? Because I gotta be honest, I am extremely confused by this color setup and the color combinations. Now, I mean, come on, you know me, you know that I think this palette is beautiful. I felt that way about the Valentine's Day palette she came out with this year in 2019. I thought it was beautiful, but I had colors like it, so I didn't end up picking it up from the store just because I simply didn't need it. But I still thought it was gorgeous nonetheless. But this makes no sense to me. This is the exact same thing as the Valentine's Day palette, and this is being sold as a holiday palette, so I'm just very, very confused. I haven't personally heard anyone really explain why this palette is almost the exact same thing. Why we're putting out a Valentine's Day palette that's already been released for holidays? I don't know, maybe I'm totally wrong here, but I just haven't seen anything addressing why they look the same, or maybe there was a purpose behind it that I'm totally missing. Maybe she was just re-promoting it. I don't know. As far as I can tell, this is a brand new promotion and a brand new collection. Like a brand new palette. That's the same palette as Valentine's Day 2019. And I don't mean to sit here and be totally rude and just crap all over her, because I have really, really enjoyed a lot of her collections lately, but this has just got me so confused and just in a tailspin of asking myself, was this on purpose? Was this a re-promotion? Is this just trying to trick people? I have no idea, so I have no idea how to feel. It's a cute palette to say the least, but I don't know. I'm just simply confused. Now, this is not the only thing that's going to be a part of the Holiday 2019 collection. She's coming out with the face palette, which is going to be $38, which is a good price for a face palette in my opinion. And she's coming out with a few different lip kits for $50, which, you know, I'm not really the biggest fan of just because I'm not really into lip products. And she's coming out with some glosses and some mini holiday ornament duos, which are always really cute. Not always the biggest bang for your buck, but they are a really cute and festive kind of product. So, I don't know, I'm just really confused by this one particular palette. The rest of the collection makes sense to me, but this palette makes absolutely no sense to me. So please let me know if you have an answer for why this palette is being re-promoted or why it's being sold as a different one. And to me, this palette doesn't really say holiday. It definitely says Valentine's Day perfectly. This is the definition of a Valentine's Day palette. And it gives me winter vibes just because it reminds me of rosy cheeks, and you get rosy cheeks when you go out in the snow and you're cold and whatnot. But I just don't get this. But honestly, I could sit here and drone on for hours about being confused about this and asking questions that'll probably never get answers, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop it here and not make myself any more dramatic than I already look, which is kind of impossible to do, but I digress. And let's go ahead and jump right on in to the next makeup release, which I am so incredibly excited about. And this is Devinah's up-and-coming collection, the Sugar Drops collection, which will be launching sometime soon in November. We don't have an exact date yet, but it's just gonna be sometime in November, so very, very soon. So I gotta start saving up my money. The name of this collection is absolutely amazing. You know how much I love makeup that's basically named after sugary sweet desserts. I don't know what it is about that type of thing, but I absolutely love it when makeup is named like candy or cotton candy or pudding or something cute and delicious, because I love sweets and I just like the concept of it, even though it's a little cheesy. But the most exciting thing about this collection, in my opinion, is that every single shadow in this collection is the same exact formula as the Willy Wonka Xploders and the Galaxy Dust collection. I have done an extensive amount of videos here on my channel about both of those collections, so if you have questions, if you're curious, I will have them linked down below. But I absolutely adore that formula. The formula of those specific types of shadows are basically a semi-sheer base formula that have a certain color to them, and they're not super opaque, but they are extremely shimmery and have all sorts of different colors of micro shimmers running throughout them, and they just kind of vary depending on which shade it is. But they are so multi-dimensional and shimmery and sparkly and beautiful. Honestly, they're very similar to Pat McGrath's beautiful shimmery baked formula that I was talking about earlier. They're just not baked, at least I don't think they are, but they're absolutely beautiful. And I know Devinah's been wanting to come out with more shades of this particular formula, and keep them coming, Devinah. You have my money. I will purchase them. I will get every single color in this collection because I already know that I'm gonna love every single color. I love this formula so incredibly much. They could come out with the ugliest color and I'd probably still buy it just because I love the formula so much. But what they've shown so far is absolutely beautiful and very promising. Now, as far as I know, they haven't actually given us names for any of the shades that they've sneak peeked so far, but they have sneak peeked 3 different shades that are all absolutely beautiful. The first shade that they sneak peeked to me looks like it's a beautiful kind of white, pearly, transparent base that has purple and blue and teal shifts to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. The second shade that they sneak peeked is a white kind of creamy iridescent base as well that has a fuchsia and kind of magenta purple thing going on, which is absolutely beautiful and right up my alley. And finally, it looks like the last one they sneak peeked is very similar in the concept of having the fuchsia and purple running throughout it, but it looks like it has a little bit more of a blue shift to it as well. And of course, these are all super, super shimmery. My god, they are so incredibly beautiful. The Willy Wonka Xploders collection is one of my absolute favorite makeup collections that's ever come out, and this to me looks like a continuation of that. So far we've seen 3 shadows and they all seem to have a white kind of creamy iridescent base to them. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that this collection will probably consist of all white creamy iridescent based shadows that have different colors of shimmers running throughout them that are candy colored. So with the Willy Wonka Xploders collection, we had pink based shadows, we had blue based shadows, teal based shadows, and I think that this might be a very similar concept, but instead of the actual bases themselves having the color, these shimmers will have the color, which is absolutely beautiful. I have been just so in love with shades like that recently, and I'm so excited to see the entire collection, and I cannot get it to my house, in my hands, and on my face soon enough. And my camera battery is almost dead, so we're gonna speed through this last one. But the final collection I wanted to talk about for this week is from Colourpop, which, surprise, surprise, right? But as of this morning, they just released the Bye Birdie collection, which is cute in concept. I don't exactly know what that quote is from. Is it from like a children's book or like a movie? I cannot remember for the life of me, but the actual packaging of this collection is beautiful. We have gorgeous peacock feathers, we have berry tones and purple tones and magenta tones. Visually, it is so incredibly pleasing and very, very pretty to look at. Now, the collection itself contains the Bye Birdie eyeshadow palette for $18, a few different sets that contain mascaras and different liners. There's a few lip sets as well, and then we have a few different Jelly Much eyeshadows. I believe there's 4 different shades that are all $8 each. And they also came out with false lashes for $8 each. There are 3 different styles to try, and they came out with nail decals too for $7 each, which to my knowledge in the last week or two, Colourpop came out with not only lashes but nail decals. So they have really expanded within the last like 2 weeks or so, which is ridiculously fast, but we all know that Colourpop can produce things ridiculously fast because they own their own lab. They can do what they want. So I like the concept of them coming out with the little nail wraps or whatever they're called. I think it's a cute idea, and I know a lot of people like those. I also like the concept of them coming out with lashes that aren't crazy expensive, although $8 is not super affordable by any means. I'd say it's like middle of the road as far as prices go, but if lashes are good quality, I am more than willing to spend $8 on them. The lashes that I am wearing currently, I buy for $8 and they're absolutely fantastic. Just like with the Kylie Cosmetics launch, I am very, very confused by this launch, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Colourpop came out with a palette that was very, very similar in tone to the Bye Birdie palette, and I think it was around the same price and had around the same amount of shades in it. Now, I just checked the Colourpop website and I don't see any remnants of that palette ever existing, so did I make it up in my head? Am I going insane? I don't know, probably, but I'm pretty darn sure that they came out with a magenta burgundy kind of purpley plummy toned palette maybe about a year ago, and to me this is very reminiscent of that palette. Now, this palette does have a few pressed glitters in it, so it does make it a little bit more exciting, and I do really like the color combination of this palette. But I'm pretty sure that Colourpop had a palette that was almost identical to this one if you were to take out those pressed glitters. I think my brain might actually just be making up conspiracies just for the hell of it because it's bored. But I'm pretty sure I'm onto something here. I'm pretty sure that they had a palette that was very, very similar to this one. So I'm just really confused why I'm being reminded so much of palettes that have already been released by these new launches. First we had Kylie and the Valentine's Day Holiday 2019 palette, whatever it is. And now we have this one, which is very reminiscent of an existing palette that I can't seem to find a trace of online. My conspiracy mind is just going to all sorts of crazy conclusions right now. Not really, I'm just being facetious and over dramatic, but But as you can see, I'm going into conspiracy crazy zone here, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up today's Pay or Stay Away. So please let me know down in the comments what you are gonna be picking up for this week. If you agree with any of the things I talked about, if you remember some of these palettes, or you think that some of these palettes look like palettes that already exist from the same brand, join me in the conversation below and let's talk some crazy makeup conspiracies, or just talk about things we're gonna buy. You know, apples to oranges, right? But if you enjoy Pay or Stay Away and you enjoy joining me here every week and talking about things that we're gonna buy or not gonna buy, then go ahead and subscribe down below to stay in the loop. Like I said, I'm gonna be posting Pay or Stay Away on Fridays now instead of on Mondays. I also think it's just a little bit better in theory because I can basically recap the entire week and it just feels a little bit more right to me, if you will. I just like the idea of Pay or Stay Away being on a Friday instead of being on a Monday, because who the hell likes Mondays? Not me. All right, my friends, but that's gonna be wrapping up this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.